So for Christmas, I got a VIZIO 4K TV. Got the 49-inch one and not the 50-inch one because apparently there's a big difference. The 49-inch one has an IPS panel, which is bad in this situation. So this review is going to be on the wild and mysterious and rare 49-inch VIZIO 4K TV. It's mostly going to revolve around picture quality, picture modes, and gaming, and then maybe a little bit touched up on video streaming and all of that. This is the box that it comes in. The TV is not that big, so if you're tall and have long arms like me, you can just carry it yourself. It's pretty thin, easy for transportation, but this is just the box that it comes in. It's obviously a smart TV, and you have a smart remote, which is actually nice. The TV is fairly thin. It's not as thin as the LG that I reviewed, but apparently the newer models that Samsung and Sony are making are like razor thin, but I don't think anyone would complain too much about this being bulky. The screen has a glossy reflective coat, which if the lighting conditions are good, it makes the image look sharper. But if there's a lot of different lights, then yeah, there'll be a lot of glare, which I've had a problem with. But I just turn the lights off and you just have to relocate. I mean, it looks kind of like a mirror with my laptop connected to it, like, yeah. But it's a nice shiny coat versus the dull matte that was on the LG that I reviewed. There are 5 HDMI ports. Most of them are on the bottom. So if you have a lot of devices, that's actually good to hook up to this, but there's only one HDMI 2.0 port for 4K 60 hertz video, which kind of sucks, and then there's a USB port. Here's our nice little cute remote, but check this out. There's a keypad on the back, so when you're typing stuff in, it makes a huge difference when you're trying to look stuff up on Netflix or YouTube or even browsing the internet. Like, whoa. I have the Tomb Raider from 2013 pulled up, and if you notice, it's a weird resolution. I have this connected to the HDMI 2.0, and it's only at 30 hertz for this. Let's change it. 1080p. If I do 60 hertz, it changes away from 1080p and goes to 1080i, and it screws up and it says use a different HDMI port, which is annoying. Apparently it goes up to 120 hertz, but my laptop only has an HDMI 1.4 port, so this is a lie. I'm surprised it's even giving me this option, but who knows, it doesn't really make a difference. So to prevent the eye thing, I've been playing games at this resolution, which is a little step up from 1080p. Obviously it's not super 4K, which my laptop can't run, so hopefully my next computer will be a desktop that has HDMI 2.0 and more power, so I can actually play games at 60 hertz 4K. But this is a third-person game, so this resolution works for me. 30 hertz is fine. Obviously I have VSync on to prevent screen tearing. This is actually a really good looking game, especially with the Tress effects. Hair works. The other side characters look like crap, but Lara Croft looks pretty awesome. I mean, that's crystal clear. I'm filming the TV. But this is at the 1152p, which is a weird resolution, at 30 hertz. See, it doesn't look too bad. Because this game is, I guess, it's more cinematic. I'm actually having a few frame drops because this cutscene is really intense for my laptop at maxed out ultimate settings. So for this I'm using a custom picture style because I had to put it in game mode because the latency is actually really bad. So this is game mode, and I will show you guys the difference in picture styles. So whoops, I pushed the wrong button because the layout on this remote is actually kind of bad. So here we go. So there's game, computer, let's let it go away, which you would think would be the best thing, but it actually makes things duller and increases the response time. It helps text out when you're, doing computer stuff, but video game wise. And then here's vivid. It crushes and saturates everything, gives it a different weird tint. Calibrated dark, I mean, you can just see how that looks. You don't even need to see lower, it's bad. This calibrated one is really just dull gray sepia mix or something. And then standard, everything just gets a really bluish tint. So the picture styles on this are really bad. If I go to menu, picture, here's standard, calibrate ew, really ew, that's super intense. Here's mine, it looks more natural and it's in game. Computer's actually kind of the second best looking one, I guess because my laptop's hooked up. I have not used these picture styles for actual video watching, but here's my custom thing. I had to increase the backlight all the way up because it was at like 40 or something. So originally game mode was really flat, it was really dull, it was really dark, it had like no brightness, no contrast. The latency hasn't been an issue. I just kind of calibrated to sharpen and brighten the picture. So you got the sharpness up, and then here's some more stuff. You can do the black detail, which it crushes and helps the details in dark areas, but it doesn't mention it, but it also adds a slight blur. So her face, I mean, you can't see this beyond the camera, but her face gets all fuzzy. So this has the best. It's just leave it off. And then active LED zones, which is supposed to be a selling point of the VIZIO 4K TVs. It's like fake contrast. I have it turned on now. It looks good to me, but just from a little bit of experience, it's kind of like a fake contrast, and it seems more like a gimmick. So most people have advised to, you can see a slight difference. It doesn't do much, but most people have advised that you take it off because apparently when there's a lot of fast motion, the zones are not able to dim themselves automatically. It's all delayed. So if a scene is really slow paced, then it's fine, but if there's a lot going on, you just see a bunch of crap. Then I have reduced judder, which it has the soap opera effect. It increases the frame rate from filming 30 hertz video. Obviously, video games, more frame rates are better, so this smooths out that choppy 30 hertz. So I haven't had a problem. It kind of turns your PC gaming into console gaming because console 30 frames per second seems smoother than PC 30 frames per second. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. And then reduce motion blur. It has to do with 60 hertz video, which I haven't had an issue with because I'm not using 60 hertz. But apparently it leaves, motion blur has like, when it tries to get rid of it, it leaves like a fake little trail behind it, and it's artificial, and they said turn it off. And it also increases latency a lot whenever you like put that setting all the way up. So it's worse for gaming, plus at low frame rates, like 30 frames per second, which is what I'm doing right here, motion blur is a good thing. Clear action, all that does from the reviews, it says it reduces blur and fast action, but it's a gimmick. All the reviews have said that it makes no difference. All it does is darken the screen. So I mean, this is already kind of dark anyways, and so it just darkens and makes it dull. And obviously low game latency, so I have a good picture quality size, and VIZIO has the best response time out of most major 4K TVs. So if you plan on gaming, get a VIZIO. If you're doing all around, maybe other brands, but I haven't really noticed any latency on this, so it's pretty good so far. So that's how the VIZIO TV is. It's a little bit different than the LG 43 inch. The pixel density is not as strong, but for some reason the panel just, I guess because it's got a glossy coat, it seems sharper, but it takes a lot of tweaking. But for the price, you can get it, but maybe the 50 inch would be better. Netflix streaming looks good, just like you would expect. I'd say it's up there with Blu-ray quality. It's not going to blow your mind as you may think, because there's just not that much of a bit rate. It'd be nice if Netflix could actually increase the bit rate and give like a super 4K premium for people who have faster than 15 megabits per second internet. So go on, Netflix, if you're watching this, up the bit rate, because the compression for your 4K makes it equal to 1080p Blu-ray. Come on, step up the game.